It's time for the ball to flatline. 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 Who doesn't like a little bit of a show off every once in a while? Let's talk about stars. What are they? Isn't it gnarly we hardly know shit? Think about it. We barely grip the tip of the iceberg, so what have you heard and what do you know? My personal show is quite limited. I've given this a bunch of thought. I bought the farm just like you. Disarm the alarm without any proof. I use a toothbrush despite having teeth. Believing beneath me looks like jello. But hello, we can only drill 8 miles down, so how have we found what the core looks like? That kind of sounds like conspiracy, right? Does the fear that you might have less than a clue make you see right when left would improve the rest of the moves in the spherical game? So it's best you include all possible trains of thought to explain the frames that are strange. The games might be maintained. Keep people working. Imagine you came up just the same, believing the shame without any smirking. Imagine them learning the earth isn't turning. The theory is bullshit, a pulpit that's earning, selling a sure thing where nobody asks questions concerning questionable math. We follow the path, repent when we're told, swallow the staff and subsequent load. No one is bold enough to spit, and I admit, I wouldn't either. To be cast into the ether for exposing the cheaters, to see your beliefs all fail, that hammers the nail in most coffins closed. If you fell in a hole that could fold your life's work, would your die roll or would you put on the shirt? Just some other jerk who makes a great living, pushing the dirt while graves keep on filling. But who's willing the killing, spilling the blood of the scientist, denying this big ball of mud? The grudge must runneth deep, the shelf too steep to climb. My mind refuses to settle, the metals they peddle seem cheap. As one of the sheep I sleep with my eyes open, watching the chosen run the ruse. I'm confused, no longer amused. It's true the abuse must stop. The mountaintop is curveless, the purpose is yet unknown. I'm simply blown away. If there's infinite space, shouldn't the way we see things change? If the stars all range in distance and size, shouldn't the stage then be a surprise? Shouldn't some eyes open or close if the stars in the sky are gas that explodes? I awoke with a cold, sick of monotony. I realized the globe really has got to be flat out hypocrisy. So here's my declaration. Now go ahead and mock me and buy the space station. It's time for the ball to flatline. 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 It's time for the ball to flatline.